Hey everybody, happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Yep. You know what makes this Friday so special? Bee combed her hair.
I actually didn't.
You didn't?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
I just got out of the shower.
Oh, it looked combed. Anyway, let's get some hellos in, huh? Go back to the top. Farm Ranch Homestead was first in. Good evening to you. Rickster, what's going on? Let's see here. TB, good evening to you. WA, welcome in. The Banquet of Consequences is in the house. Let me see here. Eagle Lover Texas made it. I'll get to him here. Sorry, we were chatting a lot before the live. So
I guess.
Yeah.
You must have been up here a while.
Yeah, I was up at 5. RN, good evening to you. And the famous Silver Lining. Let me see here. I think Silver Lining wanted me to hug somebody. Is that Silver Lining or was that somebody else?
No.
Is she giving out hugs?
She is.
Oh, okay. So if anybody knows, Silver Lining is giving out hugs. If anybody needs a hug, just...
Come on. She's a lover.
Oh, my goodness. Gypsy, what's up, bud? One more rock. Good evening to you. Midwest Ribeye, good evening. Let's see here. Dana Green, good evening. Mary Michelle, welcome in. And the Terminator.
Hello, friend.
Yep, Hilltop Home Place, good evening. Famous Life with Mike and Jen are in the house. And the greatest name on the internet.
Half Bubble Off Plum.
Yep, look who else is in.
Hello, friend.
Yep, Mr. Mo Engineer's in the house.
Moe.
Yep, that's a long time buddy of mine right there. Beth Emily, good evening to you. Dave and Sonia, good evening. EZ is in the house. Helen. Jane is in the house. And Rhonda and Vicky Pullen, good evening. ACM, welcome, buddy. The instigator himself, Hippocrates Garden, is in the house. Let me see, Not That Kind of Karen. That's another great name. I don't know if that'd be second or third behind Half Bubble Off Plum, because I like Banquet of Consequences. It's pretty cool, too.
Not that kind of Karen.
LJC, good evening to you. Bird's Eye View. There's my friends from not very far away. Big Kid. Drummondson Live, welcome. I think I caught all up. Pretty cool. Hey, we were just sitting here talking, and Eagle Lover posted a link about some aliens in Miami, and I had read clips on it on the news, but I found it super fascinating.
In Miami?
Yeah, there's a mall in Miami.
The city?
Yeah, and there was a bunch of kids that was like a fight, and they had some firecrackers. Is what the media is telling you it was about. But you've seen how many cops there were, right?
I just walked up to what was going on your...
Yeah, well, she posted.
I didn't know what was going on. So what was it? Some alien in a mall?
Well, the reports are there was a bunch of kids that were fighting and had some firecrackers. That's what the reports are. But then the individual media, meaning people with cell phones, you and me, are claiming there was an 8 foot tall alien in the mall, and then that's what the police were there for.
Oh, like a totally different story.
Totally different story. Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me.
Pete, good evening to you. I know.
You okay?
Yep. Jules, good evening. Toby, soon to be Kansan, is in the house. Jane's in the house. And Janine's in the house. Pretty cool. List just keeps growing. So anyway, I don't know what to think about the whole alien thing. If you guys have any more information on it, has anybody else done any reading in it? This was all a pretty new story to me. So I was playing it when there was 7 minutes left to go live. I turned that on, and so I don't have a ton of information. But anyway,
you know that sounds like the colony.
Oh yeah, how interesting is that? Yeah, B and I have been watching the series Colony.
Is it just Colony?
Called The Colony, yeah. And there's 2 shows kind of prepping related or homesteading related or survival related. They're a Colony, but one was an experiment where they put a bunch of people in a town, and actually they filmed it in Detroit and seeing how they live, but not that Colony. The other Colony is where basically there's some aliens that come, and it's kind of an oppressive government, and it's kind of how they get through all of it. But anyway,
The Greatest Day.
Yeah.
Has anybody watched that?
Yeah, I bet you they have. If you haven't,
what is it on? Is it on YouTube? How are we watching it?
We're watching it on Roku.
Okay, Roku.
All right.
Yeah, we got a Roku TV, so I didn't.
Yeah. Hey,
we're learning it.
Yeah, my friend Nidos is in the house. Pretty cool. WA was in the house. I think I said hello already, but if I didn't, hello. We have a new freedom-loving member of Love and Land Every Day who is new. Welcome to the party. B is crazy, I have to warn you. She's completely out of control.
Well, I married you, so I'm totally.
Yeah. Hey, my friend Jonathan in the house, and Big Dog Ghetto's in the house. Yep. Ghetto says he loves that show, Colony. Yeah, we're on season 3 right now, so we don't know how it all
Are
turns
we
out.
already?
Yeah, season 3. Can you believe that?
I sleep in and out of them, so I haven't followed.
I know that's where you spend most of your day.
I spend most of my day on rainbows.
Yeah.
Not
Right.
sleeping. I'm doing other things.
Yeah.
I'm scattering glitter in my life.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, you guys don't have any idea how true that actually is. Like how completely oblivious B can be sometimes to what's going on around us. You know.
I saw a TikTok video. This guy was walking and they were going on a trip, and he goes, "Okay, I got my passport. We got the passport." And he's holding his wife's hand walking, and he goes, "Got the passports. We left. We're going. Okay, we got our gate in time." And he's going through his thing in his head, and then the girl is standing next to him, and she's going, "We're going on a trip on our favorite rocket ship." And I was like, "Oh, I love that video."
Yeah, because that's you. Because that is totally you. LJC says when all else fails, they will bring out the aliens. We aren't there yet, so they are desensitizing us. I actually agree 100% with that statement.
Jeez.
Yeah. Where are we at here? Let me see here. What did RN say? RN said we are also rated high in alcohol consumption. Yeah. Well, I'm really glad my wife don't drink, because that would not help our situation at all. She's already at all. And
then I would.
Okay, so Jules says the man who's always taking a nap. Except here's the thing: I have to take naps because I have to be aware of everything, because nobody else will be aware of it.
How are you aware while you're sleeping?
I'm not. I got to take a break. It gets overwhelming.
Well, it's because you're so high energy.
Well, no, I got to cover your weight and my weight.
Oh, well,
it gets heavy.
Somewhat, probably. But I thank you for doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you for having my back.
You're welcome. Mo says Elvis is going to be coming back in concert as AI, or is it really Elvis returning from his alien ship?
He never died.
Wasn't somebody saying that Marilyn Monroe and Elvis were hanging out this week?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was something.
He's still here, yeah.
Yep. Carrie Davis, good evening to you. Scott Horn. Yeah, so Scott's a buddy of mine that's not too far from here, and him and I cut a bunch of wood down. I don't know how many trees we cut down, but it was a whole bunch.
He's your wood buddy.
Yeah, but he's a warrior, and it was good to see him. Pete says snaps are great. I could not agree. Ghetto says so many truths in that show. I can see our government working like that, minus the aliens. 100%. You know, me and B would lay in bed and we watch these things. We talk about how would you combat that, or what do you do? You know,
it was like games, like undermining people all the time, like every step of the way.
Yeah.
And like you can't trust anybody.
And how's that so different from the world today?
I feel like we can trust our friends.
No, that's not what I mean. What I mean is the propaganda of you can't trust anybody, and the propaganda of mine, and only look out for you, and let's separate man and wife, and let's separate families, the nuclear family, and let's separate by Democrat and Republican and black and white and gay and straight, and all these ways that they get us to, hate each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, if we're not on common ground, then it's easy to find fault and.
Except we are on common ground. The problem is what we do is we listen to that we're not on common ground.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. To the propaganda of it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Bonnie, good evening to you. Ghetto says April 8th is going to be a total solar eclipse. Could be a good time for Project Bluebeam. Don't say that. Shame on you.
I don't know what that is.
You should look it up. Yeah. Maybe we should do a video on it sometime. Let you read it, and you'll be all upset about it.
Oh, I won't write it down. I won't write it down.
Oh my goodness. Like with Mike and Jens, I saw that he went back to his home planet on Men in Black. That's right. Because I think this alien thing is super fascinating to me, because it's amazing that they admit and they say, hey, aliens do exist, and they really doesn't get any coverage hardly, and nobody gets really worked up for it. And LJC was talking earlier about how they're just desensitizing us to it, which I think, I totally agree. Kentucky Goatman, good evening to you. And the world famous Rain Country is in the house, who says that's a pretty creative excuse for napping. Well, Rain Country, I'm glad to know you think I'm creative.
And we're glad you're here.
And we're glad you're here. That's
and I'm going to make mascara.
Yeah. Are you gonna make mascara?
Mm-hmm.
Are you?
I wrote down all the ingredients and I have
Did she do a mascara video?
A long time ago.
Oh, this is one you were watching.
Yeah, so here she always says the and that recipe is linked in the bottom. And I found out how to do that.
How to read the bottom?
How to get to the bottom. How to get to that area.
You have any glitter? Because you should just throw it right there.
I put some on my eyes.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hey, Mr. Rain is in the house. What's up, bud? Nito says break. What's a break? Yeah, I know, huh?
That's when I run into the pole with the lawnmower and the bumper goes.
Mm-hmm. Rickster says the series with Noah Weil with the aliens was great too. I don't know which one he's talking about. Maybe he's talking about I don't know Noah Weil. I don't know who the actors' names are. So, hey, Gizmos in the house. Good evening to you. My neighbor thinks she saw a Sasquatch come out of my bush during the summer. That is so funny. Laugh out loud. Well, what are you doing hiding Sasquatches in the bush? That's what I want to know. Right? Because I know the only way they're on your property is they're friends with the Terminator. Right? You see here, a lot of people I know here. I'm not even going to say everyone's name, but hi. Yep. Now, there's a few that come in, which is pretty cool. Let me see here. Eclipse. They are planning on letting out a lot of schools in Arkansas since the path of the total eclipse is supposed to go through. Worried about traffic jams. I haven't heard anything about it. Crazy, huh? Hey, Indiana Mike's in the house. What's up, bud?
Ahoy.
Yeah. Rain Country says unicorn.
I love it.
Yeah, huh? Oh my goodness. Yeah, you guys, any of you guys like that, do it yourself, makeups and lotions and potions, and Rain Country is a great channel for that. B watches it religiously and always has ideas for things that I have to build or create so that she can live out her Rain Country fantasies.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep, basically.
Did I say that right?
Yes.
My thoughts on aliens, Ghetto says, is we give the government too much credit. If there was really aliens, why wouldn't they just show themselves to us? Why do we need our government to tell us they're there? I think this is right too. I think this is absolutely right too. And, you can't, one way to hide turmoil and chaos is create a bigger story, right? And if they can keep us focused on the bigger story, we don't know the little things going on. Like, for example, there's lots of talk about them releasing the Epstein list now.
Yes.
And they're saying a lot of those names are going to come out, although that you'll guarantee you that list has been scrubbed. And the only people that are left on the list are the people they want to be the fall guys for it, right?
Yep.
I would imagine. But,
yeah.
What a great way to hide, the release of the Epstein list, or that, the powers that be are funneling money and washing dirty money over the Ukraine or whatever, right? Then come out within, an alien issue. But anyway, I'm going to skip down here a little bit. Hey, freestanding under an acre in Indiana is in the house. Good evening to you. Let me see here. We have two people. Let me see. We have two people called for reservations on our farm for the eclipse here in Northwest Arkansas. Oh, cool. You guys should have a party. You should have an eclipse party. That would be fun. Let me see here. Reagan prepped us for aliens. Yeah, he did, but not like today. Like today, what's going on today is just absolutely crazy to me.
Well, we have a Space Force, so we got to use it.
Well, right. And you can't fund the Space Force if you don't have an enemy.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a great point. One family is renting 30 acres and 300 porta potties for the eclipse, already all rented out. What? That's crazy. Hey, Simpler Times in the house. Good evening to you. Dorothy Holloway, good evening to you. Let me see here. What's this? Goat, turquoise, white horns, goat. Oh, I must have been trying to insert something in there. Sorry, guys. All right, very, very cool. All right, so what do you got first on your list tonight? What do you want to talk about?
Well, we got Pod 4 connection opened up.
Yeah, so explain to them what that means.
It got opened up. No, I'm just teasing.
La la land. You see that? That's all that means to her.
Why don't you explain it?
No, because you're the one that brought it up. It's your
But
topic.
I know, but you opened it. Because you were like, I don't want to walk around. And I was like, no, the dust, bothersome. And you were like, I'm putting my foot down.
Okay, so what she's referring to is I cut the hole in between pod 3 and pod 4 and put a door in. So now I can get into pod 4 without leaving the house, right?
Yes.
That's what you're referring to.
Yes. Yes. And like drywall dust as you're sanding for somehow just goes right through doors. Just like that water sucks right up out of the ground or out of the floor. Mm-hmm. It's like...
You girls.
You know, I have come to terms with the fact that we're under construction. So the dust, when I had my own,
you guys heard it.
When I had my own house and I was the only one that lived there, there was nothing to pick up because it was just me and my messes were like taken care of. And here I have big dogs and they are inside, and I have husband that leaves stuff everywhere and walks through the house with his boots. And he's like, oh, did I drop that off my boot? I wasn't in the mud. Well, you probably weren't right this second, but you probably were 2 days ago, and now it's all dried and it's coming off of your boots. So just saying, I have come to terms with the fact that we're under construction.
Okay.
And
now it don't matter. Good call, B.
So now it don't matter. Yes.
Yeah, so the reason I wanted to open up pod 4 though was because in pod 3 there's a spare bathroom in there that the toilet works, the sink works, all of that, but I have only tiled the floor. I haven't tiled the walls. The shower's not functional. I mean, you could turn it on and take a shower, but it would just soak everything.
Yeah,
it's not completed in there, and I wanted to work on getting it completed. So it's cold here. I don't want to be cutting with a wet saw outside. So I want to set up my wet saw in pod 4 where I'm not going to make as big a mess, so I can tile the walls and get all that stuff in so that bathroom gets complete. And I know B would, and she'll tell you, would prefer that I use the wet saw outside, right, when it's 13 degrees outside, spitting water all over me. I know that'd be a lot better for you, right?
It'd be so much cleaner. But not only that, but like when you're constructing, you're cutting. So sawdust and then drywall sanding debris and like those things that are carried through the air as we're walking back and forth,
Mm-hmm.
or just opening the door because, the draft and circulation or whatnot.
Yeah, people are asking why you're just not plasticking over things.
Because you want to walk through it, right? The door, you want to walk through the door.
Yep.
And but coming and there's little things all over the house that need to be done, like a corner trim here and not corner trim. What are those little corner things that you put on
It's
the baseboard corners?
Yeah.
And things that need to be done here and there. So I've just come to terms with that. It's not.
So you guys heard her say it was okay.
Yeah. And like you built the cabinet for the bathroom, which was built.
Not a cabinet, it's a pantry, but you're close.
What's the difference?
Well, I don't know. I mean, a pantry's, big. It goes from the floor to the ceiling, right?
Yeah.
It's big. It's open.
And cabinets don't.
And cabinets to me are a lot smaller, and I guess maybe they're all a cabinet.
It's a very large cabinet. It's a pantry. What is it? 18 inches by 30?
30 by 18 and 96 inches tall.
Yeah. So it's, to put all of that's the thing. So when you're a prepper, you have extra items, and being able to put them away allows you to put it away, and then you know where it's at, and then it's out of,
And when you're a hoarder prepper, it's even worse.
Yeah, because then you're like Tetris in that cabinet. Like, what can I turn upside down and shove in that hole so that I can, put it away?
Mm-hmm. Hilltop Home Place says Our Lady of Perpetual Construction.
Yes.
It's a new church. We're opening a new church. No, Jonathan, it's not quarter round. On my baseboards in my corners, I have those, they're about 4 inches, 6 inches tall, that make the trim just fancy. They have those little corner things with a beveled top on them.
Are there innies and outies? There's some that go on the inside of a corner, or are they all shaped? No, they're shaped different. So the ones that go on the outside of the corner, there's like a piece that's missing out of it, so it like hugs the corner. And then the ones that go on the inside are shaped different.
The ones that go on the inside, you put the little cut mark in the corner.
On the inside?
Yeah, so you don't see it.
I thought they were different. Shows you what I know. Good thing I just do the finish work.
Yeah, KY Goatman says, what do you mean by pods? So now KY Goatman, you can go back in my videos and watch how I built my house, but I built my house in pods. So I built pod 1 first. Pod 1 had 2 bedrooms, a kitchen, and a bathroom, and a utility room, because I always ask myself, if the shit hit the fan tomorrow, what will I wish I had accomplished? And I wanted to make sure we could live out here. Pod 2, we added the living room because I wanted a living room. Pod 3, we added a laundry room, a pantry, a bathroom, the office that I'm sitting in here, which is on the 3rd floor, and another bedroom
And
to
a game
there.
room.
Yep. And then pod 4 is our master bedroom, which is what I'm working on now. But we built it in a series of pods. Each one was pretty much functional before I moved on to the next one. So I built my house in a series of pods.
They're connected. You walk from one pod to the next, to the next, to the next.
Right.
It looks like one house, but we built it in sections as we could.
My new best friend,
it.
Conserve Friends, my new best friend says, just consider it construction glitter.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I love that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Hoarders aren't as organized. Ha ha. Yeah, she's an organized hoarder, but she is a hoarder nonetheless. She must just be,
I like having, a toothbrush or 100.
Silver Lining says innies and outies.
Yeah, on the baseboards.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're made where they'll go on either way.
I don't think they are.
Okay. I'll show you.
Okay, then you just turn it around.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much how it works. All right. Anyway, what else you got? So we worked on. We opened up pod 4.
Yes.
So now I can walk back and forth.
Yes.
What else you got?
And then you built the cabinet. Yeah. That was just lots of stuff. Hauling items. Hauling wood in.
Yeah, you've been doing a lot of that. Yeah, guys, there's for those of you guys that don't know, and I'm sure most of you guys are well on top, there's a whole bunch of storms coming through the United States that are going to dump a bunch of snow in a lot of places. But what's more worrisome than that is that right behind it, what's going to come is a whole bunch of Arctic weather. And so we're going to get into the latter stages of January. The United States is going to get pretty cold. And there's some places that they're talking about, like up in Montana and, some of those places might get even to minus 60. But some real cold weather. So we are, B and I are working hard to make sure we prepare for that stretch. And it's really simple things you do. It's making sure all the firewood's stacked up and you got it all brought where you need it to bring, so that you can, get easy access to it, because wood is our primary source of heat. We're going to depend on it. So we want to make sure that
and cooking,
that we've got a month's worth of wood put right there close. So there's not a lot to it, right? Because the stove, the Kitchen Queen that's in our kitchen, the wood cook stove runs 24 hours a day.
Hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, there's times at night we don't get up to it and we wake up and it's empty, but mostly it runs 24 hours a day. So if you can imagine feeding a big wood burning stove 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for a month, that takes quite a bit of, wood to go through. So we're working on getting that done, but it's also, there's more than that. It's stocking up on all the groceries. It's making sure you don't have to leave if you don't need to leave. Right.
And food for the animals,
also food
groceries.
For the animals.
So I hauled in 8 bags of, sweet feed and corn and scratch, and then did another 8 bags of chicken food. And so I've been back and forth hauling. Then I went and got the Christmas totes out and hauled those in, because if we're going to have winter weather, then I might as well put all the Christmas decorations away. I'm going to be inside anyway. Might as well do the things that need to be done inside. So
there's more to it than that too. Just like what you guys know, we went through a blackout a little bit ago where my system, there just wasn't enough sun, and the system ended up shutting down, and we were living on batteries and I have lots of, Milwaukee batteries that plug into lights and inverters and things. So I have lots of other ways to create electricity, and we went through that. And so one of the things we make sure we do here is we know we've got a spell coming up, everything gets charged. We have from Lion Energy, a Summit solar battery. We just make sure it's charged. Because I can run a light in my living room off that battery for a month, for a long time on that little inverter.
On the Summit?
Yeah, it'll be a long time. And so we just make sure we do that, make sure there's kerosene stocked up, make sure all of these things are happening so that we can head into it. So make sure you guys are prepared and ready for it. And, we've got some time to do that. Now, Farm Ranch Homestead says 2 is 1, 1 is none, is 3 hoarding. And I will quote B here, Farm Ranch. So B says 2 is 1, 1 is none, and 3 is a spare. Dave in Sonia, Michigan says, been there, done that, running a towel saw outside in the cold weather. Yeah, no thanks.
You've done that before.
I know, but I don't have to. Yeah. That's the thing. Getting soaked outside when it's 10 degrees is no fun.
Yeah.
That's absolutely.
What about like 40 degrees? Isn't that better?
40 is not so bad. Yeah, but
still cold.
It's still cold. Hey, by the way, I wanted to welcome one step closer. Yep. And I don't know how to pronounce this one. I will say hi back. Hygie? Is that how you'd say that? Hygie Homestead?
I guess.
I'm guessing that's how you pronounce it, but if I'm wrong, please correct me. But welcome. Love to hear about what you're doing. Let me see here. Life Mike and Jen says you can put a zipper or Velcro tabs to keep the plastic wall from to keep
It's like so you
plastic
can
closed.
open and close, like use a heavier plastic and then just open and close it.
Yep. Mo wants to know if the generator's working now. Well, that's an interesting story. The generator is working fine. Getting the generator to charge my batteries automatically, I can't make that work yet.
Or even manually.
I can't get the generator to charge the batteries. I can get the generator to produce power.
It starts.
Yeah, it runs fine. I can get it to produce power for the house easy. That part's not hard. I can't get it to charge the battery. So I have something going on in the system. I don't have any idea.
I thought he was coming to check that.
He is.
You haven't heard anything?
No, he is. He's coming. Yeah, I've got somebody coming to help me with it.
Good.
So see if we can get it figured out. See, Nito said we received 3 inches or so of snow this morning, expecting the same Saturday or Sunday. Yeah.
We've gotten about, what, a half an inch? Quarter inch?
Yeah. Maybe. No, you haven't got much snow here. I mean, the ground, it hit the ground and pretty much disappeared. There's not a lot on the ground. There's maybe a half inch on this, roofs of the house and stuff, probably, where it's colder. Rain says power is out here now across several towns for at least 8 hours due to the storm. Thankful for our wood stove and our backups. Yeah. Amen.
Yes.
When's that storm coming through? So, silver lining, we've got 3 or 4 going to hit us back to back. We're right now in one.
It's now.
So coming on Saturday and Sunday, we're going to get the next one. But there's 4 right in a row. But excuse me, guys, the way Ryan Hall explained it when I was listening to him earlier was that because of those storms, it's going to open up this big pocket. All this Arctic air is going to rush in. So he's predicting super cold Arctic weather for the end of January. So I know that's a ways out, but I like Ryan Hall. I mean, he seems to be a really smart guy, so
it's crazy that they can, they're wrong a lot. So,
yeah.
That when it's
oh my goodness,
so cold that there's ice forming on the inside of the house, that's cold.
Where's Toby up here? Toby says, B, if you can find some place to buy your feed in bulk, it's much cheaper. We can buy 3 tons of corn for $275. Yeah, we've got a place. We've got a farmer's co-op, right? 5 miles from us, where she goes and buys it.
I'm looking for one of those. What do you call that? A wagon.
A feed wagon, yeah.
Feed wagon.
Yeah, she wants me to get a wagon that I can haul behind my truck and take it to the co-op, have it filled up, and then just park it. It stays dry and it dispenses and all of those things. And
Doesn't that make sense?
Well, there's a lot of them out there. I just don't want to spend the thousands of dollars to do it. I want to find one at an auction, which, by the way, I'm going to an auction tomorrow. But
that's right.
Yep. Let me see here. KY Goatman says our water pump broke apart. No water to the house. We got a full spring house tank outside at least. Yeah, I love that. Where are we at here? How much snow did you get? But like a half an inch. So almost nothing. Vicky, oops, sorry, I missed it. Vicky, you're next. Guess I'll be going out to get a little buddy for a backup. Gizmo, I'll tell you something. You can go get a little buddy if you want, but that's not the heater I would buy.
Is that electric?
Propane.
What's
propane? So what I would go get is a radiant kerosene heater, and I showed it. I wonder if I can. Let me see here. I'll show it what I would do. Let me find it here. This black one right here. This is what I would buy because they take no electricity. They heat really good. You can put them on low and they'll heat a long, long time. But that's what I would do. Oh my goodness. I've got emails from an accountant pumping in. All right. Let me see here. Where are we at?
I have no idea.
Gypsy says Monday through Tuesday, 4 to 8 inches here. I hope not.
Oh my gosh.
I absolutely hope not. Oh, Jules wants to know if you got your honey yet.
No, I'm working on something though.
That sounds expensive to me.
A little something.
Yeah, that sounds expensive to me.
It depends on how you look at it.
Well, everything depends on how we look at it, right? No, it's fine. I got it. Nope. I was going to pull up that. I don't know where it's at here. Right there. Okay. Oh, hey, YouTube just said we're live. I would have never known.
Good.
Pretty cool, huh? Jane likes your feed wagon idea. Sounds like you need an Amish buggy for feed. No.
And they have
shame on you, Jonathan.
You want a metal one. They have plastic ones too, right?
Yeah. I'll get one bought at an auction that I can retrofit, and I'll buy it for $50 instead of.
Then it's going to be all rusty.
Maybe I'll buy one for $200, but I'm not spending $5,000 on a grain cart. No.
Is that how much they are?
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Hey, All American Preppers in the
Holy
house.
smokes.
Then Grateful Hearts Ranch is in the house. God, I fall behind so easy.
I know the feeling.
Yeah, Gratitude and Grace says, hey, it's been a while. I'm late, but glad I made it. I'm super glad you made it. Oh, Vicky's question tag. I'm sorry. Thank you. So Vicky wanted to know where you got your shirt. You want to show them your shirt?
This is from American Roots.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So our
It
friends,
actually says American Roots
Jess
on
and
it.
Joe from American Roots YouTube channel. This is one of their shirts. Thank you, Eagle Lover.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Tag, what brand of kerosene heater was that? I've been looking at them. I don't know if I can. Let me. I'll add this back up here. Let's see. I don't know.
Does it say on it?
See if you got. I got one sitting right here next to me.
It doesn't say.
I own 3 of them, and I use them in my workspaces a lot. And I have one that I keep up here in the office too, in case it gets cold. But B's looking for a brand name for you. Thanks, Tag. Would that be oversized for 160 square feet? No. I mean, here's the thing: is that you can first of all, kerosene burns cleaner, in my opinion. You don't smell it as much as you do propane. So I like it better, but also you put that heater on low, it'll run all night long. And it's just this little tiny flame, takes no electricity. It's just not a big deal.
It's a DuraHeat.
A DuraHeat is the answer. Oh, look at that. Crunchy Mama Farms is in the house. I love these guys down in Texas. Rogue Food Conference in Texas, November 15th and 16th. Put it on the calendar.
Rogue Food Conference. You writing it?
Yeah, but you need to because
I want to go.
Yeah, super great people. The Rogue Food Conference in Texas. Is there what? Now, Texas is a big place. Kelly, can you give me a town? 16th. Big Kid says on the flip side, I just bought a manure spreader. Yeah, that would be good. I wouldn't mind owning one of those too. Yeah, Jules said Yoda and G had an Amish buggy. No, I was there when Yoda and G bought that Amish buggy, and you were in zero chance of me buying that Amish buggy.
I don't want a buggy.
No. Simpler Times wants to know, I think we already answered it, what the brand was. You said DuraHeat?
Yes.
Right, to DuraHeat. So you can get them at Tractor Supply. You can
This
get them.
one is that. I don't know if that one. This one's white.
Yeah,
it might be a different brand.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They are great. I think every single person should have one of those heaters. They are so easy to deal with. Kerosene stores really well. You can buy it in bulk. You don't have to buy the little propane tanks. So what I do, guys, I'll give you guys a tip. So some places sell kerosene, or they call K1 kerosene. They sell it in, like, let's say Home Depot or Tractor Supply or whatever. But sometimes they'll get in metal. They're in metal cans. So 2.5 gallons to 5 gallon metal cans. And so what I do is I go buy 4 of them or whatever, and I'll burn through the kerosene. And then I save the can, and then I take those cans and I collect them. I've got like 10 or 12 of them now. And then I take all the cans to my local farmer's co-op, and I fill up kerosene in bulk, and I bring all the cans home and I store it on a shelf. And, if I fill all 10 cans, it'll last me a year or 2.
Does it go bad? You said
no, it's got a long shelf life. I think it's 5 years, but it'll last through that. And for me, it works really, really good. I really, really like it a lot. I really like how they perform. When I go out and I work in pod 4, because I don't want to steal the heat out of the house. I've got a wood stove over there, so I could light that too. But a lot of times I just turn that little heater on. Like if I'm working in the closet or I'm working in the bathroom, I just turn the little heater on and it heats it up just fine for me.
That room. Yeah,
where I'm perfectly comfortable and I can have my coat off and then just, be enjoying my day.
And I found out too, I mean, most people probably know this, but with kerosene, he went to fill it and spilled it on the floor when we first were building here. And it was on the plywood. It was on the plywood floor. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh no, don't light that there, thinking that it would just engulf in flames. And he's like, have you ever seen kerosene light? And I'm like, well, no, it lights like gas, right? And he's like, no, come here. And he lit it. And it just like it lights so slowly that it's not
as dangerous.
And to me, it didn't seem as scary because it wasn't a big, puff of power that would, burn a bunch of things down. But
yeah, what did I?
So for those of you who do not know how kerosene burns, it burns. What would you say? It lights slower. It doesn't.
It just doesn't.
It's not as combustible.
It's not as combustible, right? So it's kind of like diesel fuel. You can walk up with a lighter
on diesel fuel,
and light it, and it doesn't really take off real well.
I didn't know that.
Versus
but
like
gasoline does.
Gasoline goes poof.
Isn't diesel fuel gasoline with oil mixed in?
Basic.
You would think that would
basically, but it just doesn't have the same. And kerosene's like that too, so it's a little bit safer. Hey, All America Prepper, I'm in, bud. Let's just find a time. See, Mary Michelle says, I live in a 2003 no winter package on it, and it's going down to 9 degrees. The park I live in will not let you skirt it or put anything around the bottom, hoping my pipes don't freeze. Ooh, that's all. Why in the world would they not let you skirt it? Because skirting would help a lot. I mean, an absolute lot. I'd make sure you got a little heater, right? Because it's going to get cold. But the thing is, if they won't let you skirt it, there's nothing you can do to the pipe, so don't worry about it. I mean, you could run. Do you have electrical hookups? Because you could run some heat tape on the pipes, I guess.
Because you can't run a heater under it.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Oh, there's nothing to keep the heat under there
right.
anyway.
I wouldn't. If I was going to do anything. So heat tape, if I remember right, it's like 4 watts per foot. And so let's say you got 50, feet. That's 200 watts of heat. And you can just lay it right on the pipe and, tape it on the pipe and put some
read the
foam
directions. Because you can put it on wrong.
Yeah. Let me see here.
We learned that.
Yeah, let me see here. Isn't gas oil? Well, gas is a petroleum product, right? So it comes from oil, but it's way more, lights a whole lot faster than kerosene or a diesel fuel or any one of them. B, when you refine crude oil, a certain percentage comes out as kerosene.
Huh.
One step closer. He's a smart guy.
Yep.
I'm so glad he's around. Yep. RN says, leave the water running in a trickle to keep the pipes from freezing if you are connected to sewer or a septic tank.
That's a good idea.
The All American says it's 7 degrees there. Yeah. Thanks, bud. We're all freezing, It's probably, 20 here outside. Yeah. Life with Mike and Jen, heat tape and pipe. That's the only thing I could think of too for Maria.
So you pipe insulate over the heat taped pipe? So you put the heat tape on the pipe and then you insulate over all of it?
You put a pool noodle over it, basically. You ever seen that insulate? It's kind of like a...
Yeah.
It's cut down, yeah. And you just wrap it in there.
And that's not dangerous for the heat tape?
No. See here, Nito says, when I lived in an RV, I kept the cabinets open where the water lines were and then open gray water tank and left the faucets dripping. Indiana Mike's got a lot of camper experience, you guys know. And so he says, drain all the water and tanks out of the camper till it warms back up. That's also something you can do.
Yeah, that wouldn't allow it to freeze.
Yeah. And Jules said, I tried that during the Texageddon 2021. It didn't work.
The heat tape?
No, leaving it dripping.
Oh.
Because there comes a point where it gets, we had a day last year that the wind chill was minus 41. It's just good luck. Right. Like me and B were talking, there were some places in, I think it was Montana, that they were talking about minus 60s and minus 70s. You get into that kind of weather and it's a lot of times it's just all bets are off. I mean, you're going to
have ice
happen
on the inside of the house.
Right. Yeah. Let me see here. Farm Ranch says gas puts off a lot of vapors, which is what ignites quickly. Diesel and kerosene don't put off much vapor. And it's I'm a big fan of kerosene. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I'm telling you, those little heaters, guys, they are a godsend.
Yeah.
And you can ask me, I take them everywhere with me. Like if I'm gonna go work somewhere, if I can enclose the area even a little bit, I'll use this just to keep me.
And then a shower curtain on the other side.
Yeah, whatever I got to do to keep me a little bit warm,
And these heaters, I'm okay running.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel I'm not intimidated by them.
Yeah, one nice thing about them too is they got a metal cage on top of them, and so B will make me like a turkey and cheese sandwich, for example, and I'll unwrap the tin foil and I'll just lay it up there and let it get all nice and warm and melted,
or flip it a couple times,
or even put a coffee pot on it or whatever, It worked really good.
Yes, we've cooked on them.
Hey, there's Skane's girl. How are you?
Girl.
I hope you're hanging in there good, and I hope the you prayer warriors out there are sending prayer Skane's way. She's had some tribulation in her life and she's working through it. She's a hard-headed knucklehead, which is really good. It helps in these situations. And she's a warrior and she'll get through it fine. But any of those, prayers headed her way, I guarantee it would be useful and helpful. Pipe insulation. This is from Life with Mike and Jen, which, guys, I'm going to tell you something. Mike knows probably more about this stuff than anybody I know. So, but he says pipe insulation tubes also work to wrap the edges of cattle and hog panels for the greenhouse. Oh, cool. I thought we were going to be talking plumbing. We went into gardening. Can you guess who typed that? I have an idea.
I love gardening.
Yeah, even in Arkansas, when it gets, is it AK? Is that Arkansas? No, AR is Arkansas. AK, Alaska. Even in Alaska, when it gets cold, your home pipes aren't even safe. Yeah. When it gets to that temperature, I mean, I don't know that there's a lot of advice, you know. Oh my goodness, how do I get so far behind so easy? Sorry, guys, I'm just going to skip down a little bit. Dorothy says she grew up with kerosene heaters. I really enjoy them. Do you need a CO detector with a kerosene heater? Need is an interesting word there. I would have one. We have them in our house. I've never had them go off in reference to a kerosene heater. So, but when I'm taking them in my workspaces like Pod 4, I don't have anything in there. I just turn them on and heat the place and don't worry about it. But ours have not gone off in the house, and we do have them. Let me see. What does he say? I'll even supply your food. Apparently we're eating somewhere. I don't know where we're eating. Somewhere we're eating. Let me see. We're having armadillo on the half shelf tonight. On the half shelf. When I lived in Chicago, we had a minus 25 temperature, and it quick froze the moisture in your nose when you went outside. Yeah, last year, I was telling you, I've told you guys this before, but when I was, last year, when that day that it was minus 41 wind chill, I had to go fix a sewer line because I had, in the whole long story. But anyway, I had to go fix a sewer line. And so I was outside in an open area facing the north winds in the minus 41. And I wasn't out there very long, 20 minutes maybe, to fix this line. But when I came back in, I was all icicles. My whole face was covered in them. It was so cold. But what do you do, right? I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. No, yeah. What would you say?
You gotta do it.
Yeah. She said that right. She didn't say I had to do it. Right? What'd you say?
No, you gotta do it.
Yeah.
I was out there with you, and you were like, "Go inside."
I didn't want you to be cold. See, that's love.
I was cold.
That's love. See that?
Yeah. I was cold.
Guys, never forget, love is the easiest of all things. If you truly love somebody, love is not hard. Love is easy. It's absolutely easy. Right?
Yes.
Do you agree with that?
I do agree with that.
Yep. And man, I'd love to have some chocolate milk.
Oh man. You just point out my failures every time. How about a drink of water? Which is why you asked for a drink of my water.
Smile.
I can't smile any smilier. I'm sorry.
All right, what else you got?
So something that I found out, I did chores the other morning and let the turkeys out, and I noticed one of the turkeys had a puffy, like a puffy cheek, I guess. And I got him and like poked on his cheek, and like bubbles came out of his eye, and I was like, ugh, yikes. So I ran to the house and got my antibiotic for turkey eyes, which, by the way, is now no longer available because you have to have a prescription for it.
You gotta get up there closer.
It was $28.99 when I bought it at Tractor Supply. It's terramycin is what I use for their eye infections. So anyway, now you have to have a prescription for it. So I have to get a prescription to get more. But anyway, which then made me run back to the house to get my look at this. You can't see it from there. You have to lift it up higher. I got my Homestead Medical Bag. Look at how cool that is. This pouch has see how wide it is? I think it's this one. Nope, it's this one. This one has a big pocket for all my essentials. I've got my, Vaseline and my
sprinkles. Sprinkles are for winners.
So I found out that if I leave this in the chicken coop, then it freezes. Have you ever tried to smear frozen Vaseline on a bloody comb? Oh my gosh, it does not work. So if I keep it in here and then bring it to the house, then when I need it and I grab it and I take it to the coop, then I've got everything that I need to treat not only my animals, but in case, I get stepped on or poked into the fence and I need to treat myself, then I've got, anything that I might need. But then on the other side, this pouch, I have I guess I have to pull it this way, my essential oils, oregano and thyme and basil, which, what you use those for. And then this got all gunky and gross. Look at my Vet RX, the bottle, it spilled on itself and it made the bottle disgusting. And I don't want to get it in my bag. So I need to figure out something to keep that from happening. But then I also have in here my different
Lotions and potions.
My salves, so my comfrey, all these different calendula, and what's this one? Usnea. Know what that's for?
It's for useness.
Yeah, plantain, all the things that you use, when you got a injured animal and you need to. But so here's the thing, we were talking about.
Hey, real quick, I want to say, hey, Beverly,
Sorry.
Welcome in, and hey, Spags, welcome in. Go ahead, continue.
Anyway, so this is my my leather homestead, right? Made this?
Yeah, so this has been a collaboration between Homestead Medical, Chuck Peoples, Leather Homestead, and us to create the ultimate homestead medical kit to use on the homestead that combines both the advantages of modern medicine, but also the tinctures and witchcraft that
that I love,
that all these girls use. And so this is the prototype, and so we're trying it out, and we're going to use it for a little while and see how it does, see how we can make changes to it, and then we'll get working on prototype number 2 once we've had a chance to kind of put it through the uses. So I've been excited about the project.
And here's one thing, you were really wanting a bag that I can use on the homestead, but you want me to put my people stuff in here, and I don't want to open this up and rub it on a chicken leg and then come in and put it in my mouth. I would rather have an animal one and then a human one so that I'm not
guys
cross-contaminating my,
This is a lesson for all of us out there today. So my idea of what a bag would be and her idea are very different things. I just thought we'd build this cool bag and have everything in it. You could treat people, but you could also treat your animals. It would just be a good general purpose homestead, health and wellness, preparedness bag. And the first thing that she says is, I ain't putting that on my lips.
Well, yuck. I'm not the Vaseline. I'm not going to use this Vaseline. Well, I don't use Vaseline on anything else anyway, but I don't know where I put this. So I'm moving into this and kind of changing things around and moving them where I want and making them more convenient for, I guess it just depends on what the issue is I'm dealing with. So if I need an ointment, it's readily available. Or
Crunchy Mama says, include homeopathic trillium to the bag. That stuff stops bleeding fast.
I'll write that down.
Yeah, and we would love any recommendations. One of the ideas that I had on the flap is to sew in some little spots where she can slide her essential oils in, right? So it's not taking
individuals?
Yes, so it's not. So you can open it up and be like, I want lavender.
Oh, I like that.
In one of these lips of the bag.
I thought too, if there was a clip or something that clipped this down so that it wasn't, I'm coming, honey, and it's all I don't know.
Sprinkles.
You just never know. Oh wait, I wanted to write that down.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
Unicorns and sprinkles. That's all I got to say. Silver Lining says need 2 bags. No, that defeats the purpose.
Silver Lining. Would you do the animal human? I can understand if you need something like a tourniquet in the barn, But do you need Tylenol in the barn? Like, can't you just go to the house to get that instead of like the animal bag, Don't you think? Or like a Band-Aid. You're not going to stick a Band-Aid on a cow, right? You're not going to stick a Band-Aid on a chicken.
I've seen you use Band-Aids on baby chicks to straighten the legs.
But yes. In the past.
Okay, so you will use Band-Aids.
That was rude.
Do you not use Band-Aids on chicks?
I have tried
Just
to
checking.
I have tried to sprowl leg, fix a sproul leg, but I have learned that would be, again, at the house. That would not be in the coop.
Okay. Let's see what everybody says. So Hippocrates says some kind of removable heavy canvas on the bottom to be able to clean when it's been down on
the dirty.
The junk. Yeah, that's one of her concerns. She's like, I don't want to get it all dirty. I'm like, but the purpose is to be able to grab it, throw it in your UTV, you head out to the pasture.
Yeah.
You get cut, I get burned.
Or a cat.
Or an animal, then you can kind of do all of it, Hilltop says, B, if you don't need to read that bottle, just put duct tape around it.
Oh.
Good call.
That is a good idea because I don't need to read it.
Yeah. I think KY Goatman's right on it. He says, just don't get them mixed up, B. Why can't you have a people lip balm and a...
In the same bag?
Yeah. Just don't mix them up.
No, you can't do that.
Yes, one step closer. Exactly. An essential oil bandolier. Exactly what I'm thinking about, right? That you could, because you have like 7 you use like always.
I don't know what a bandolier is. Do I need that?
Yeah, he said it real well. So just lines of your essential oils.
Like how I have the one in my purse. How there's like little elasticy sleeves.
Yes. They need 5 or 6 bags. 2 is 1, 1 is none, 3 is a spare, 4 is for the animals. See, this is getting ridiculous. This is what I'm talking about. I just set out to create a Homestead Medical Bag.
One that was like for trauma, and then one for like,
Okay. Let's talk about this. So you want one for trauma. What else would you want one for?
Like for just simple things like the Vaseline.
So a general use bag.
Yeah.
That's all I'm talking about.
No, because I would say that like the tourniquet would be in a trauma bag, not into like the general use where with the ointments and the oils and the spray, the cleaner and the, I don't know.
Travis says, don't get your thermometers mixed up.
No. Oh my goodness. They taste different for sure.
Oh my goodness. Silver Lining says, no, people in an animal age should be kept separate. That was funny. Hey, big kid, good night, bud. B, Sylvadine cream works wonders on burns. I cooked my hand with steam and it was totally healed the next morning. May not be spelled right. All right, I'll leave that up a little bit. Because we'd love to have ideas because we're going to totally assemble this. And Leather Homestead is going to have our Homesteads logo or our name put on the front of it, and anybody that wants them, they'll be custom made to that homestead, which I think is really super neat. But we're on prototype 1.
And I have all the Chuck People medical kit in this one, like the stapler, the tourniquets, the oh my gosh, what is that called?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You like
gauze?
No, that you
splint. Chest seal?
No, I've got one of those
Staplers?
too. I've got that too.
Sutures?
No. But I have that. Good idea. That you stabilize the arm with to wrap it. Splint.
If you just said stabilize the arm, I'd have hooked you up.
I know, but you were like,
I was trying to help. Because I'm that kind of guy.
I know. Thank you.
When Mike and Jen say definitely separate bags, cross-contamination is a common phrase out of my mouth. I agree with B. Of course you do.
See, you can't use the same medicine on the, it's. Mm-mm.
You could keep animal stuff and human stuff in it. Just label the animal ones.
But then the human one get dirty. Yuck.
Yeah, Vicky says, I said you need 2 bags even before you said it. Too many ways to contaminate when around animals. Oh my goodness. Hey, Unique Prepping's in the house. Yeah, I listened to your live the other night.
Welcome.
Welcome. Lynn says, agree with B, 2 bags.
At least.
Yeah. One Step says 5 keeps you alive and 6 will fix. Okay, so Jane says, here's my idea. Okay, it must be down here somewhere along the way.
We'll get to it.
You guys, you know what's so funny is how things just progress. Because literally, my whole idea, I was in Kentucky speaking at the Kentucky Sustainable Living Conference, and you know, I know Chuck at Homestead Medical, and I know Bruce from Homestead Leather, and we were just having a conversation. I'm like, hey, why don't we collaborate and just build a general purpose homestead medical kit?
Because you got a bunch of men thinking about what you're gonna do with lip grease, and it's like, what?
Oh, and it just, you know.
Yes.
Rectals are always red.
Yeah, they taste bad too.
Yeah, Rickster says, for people, I carry an IFAC and a tote bag for the walking food. Spag says, this is funny. Well, because B's crazy, Spags. I just wanted a general purpose bag. This has gotten completely out of control. Now, next thing you know, I need heart zappers.
So now we need... oh, hey... You know, I could probably order one from Amazon.
Yeah, probably. Oh my goodness.
So you would like okay, so Bruce, if you're here, we would like a general purpose bag for that. And then I would like another human medical bag for just teasing.
You have human medical first aid kits. You got 30 of them. And you've got big ones that have all kinds of stuff in them.
So one is to take to the range. That has different things in it. You know, there's one to keep in the car. These are different items. Okay. So like the puffer you put over somebody's stranger's mouth that you keep in the car, I don't keep here because if I'm going to give you mouth to mouth, I'm not going to search through a thing to put over your face.
Mouth to mouth. But
you get in, you know, you roll up upon a car accident and you're like, let me get my glove. Let me get my kit from the cars that has gloves and all kinds of other things.
It's getting out of control.
Just different items.
Silvadine cream is a must. And compression dressing. Do you have Silvadine on there? You do? Yep. Let me see here. I'm way behind. Let me see. Sulfacividine cream is by RX only. Go figure. Isn't that crazy?
Can I get it for animals?
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff, guys, that all of a sudden you can't buy anymore. You know, ivermectin's harder and harder to get. What's the other thing that's on that you said?
Oh, it's the probiotic. It said...
this is crazy. Tell them this.
Was it 9 of 24? It will be required a prescription. That's what the website said.
For probiotics?
For the cow probiotics that I was...
Cow probiotics.
I mean, I think it's specific for cows. I'm not sure. Maybe that could be answered by Gypsy. But it was the cow probiotic that I was told that was a good one. Mm-hmm. I put it in my cart and it said, doo-doo, the items in your cart will need a prescription come September.
Instigator says Sam splints used for more than just splinting. Nito says yes to the Silvadine cream.
I've never even heard of that. I'm going to have to put like 3 stars next to it.
Tag, would you like to do live with me sometime soon? I'd like to have you on my channel. You bet. You bet. But just send me an email. That's all you got to do. And we'll schedule a time. Send me an email and give me a couple times that works good for you. And I'll make it match my schedule. But I would love to do that. Absolutely love to do that. Let me see here. Gratitude for Grace agrees. Just make sure you can get to your number one tool. Well, when you say that, what I consider a number one tool would be all self-defense related. But when she says that to you, what does that mean to you? Make sure you can get your number one tool. Your husband?
Yeah.
Tag!
The phone? Call for help? I don't know. Dorothy, tell us. Tell us.
Farm Ranch says, don't forget, one for each car, one for each barn, one for the workshop, guys, this is ridiculous. Why can't I just have a general purpose bag that goes?
Because if you get hurt in the shop, you don't want me to go, wait, honey, let me go get the bag. If you had one in the shop had one in the barn, had one in the house. You don't have to run. You know, like when the fella fell up there and punked his arm and then had to walk all the way back. And then I was like, oh no, what do I even do?
Just imagine if you had an all-purpose bag.
And if it was in the barn, boom.
Or in your SUV or your UTV or you'd have had it right there. You could have fixed it right there and you wouldn't have to walk to the barn.
If you had one in the skid loader, that's another place that,
oh my gosh,
like put it in, you know, like that one that Chuck carries in his pant pocket, like a little one. You could just like make a thing on the ceiling of the skid loader and you can mount it there. And that way, you know, farm accidents happen. They just happen.
I wish Chuck and Bruce were in here and we could be having a conversation that you're crazy. KY Goatman says, you going to KSL this year? I don't know if I'm going or not. I have no idea. I'm kind of trying to figure out what I want to do this year. I've got a couple that I probably have to go to, but I really got so much stuff to do, you know, but getting the community building has got to get finished this spring. I just got a lot going on. Silver Lining says AED is a good idea. I don't know.
Yeah, the boop boop.
Oh, yeah. I don't think that should be in your general purpose homestead bag.
No, that would be in trauma.
That'd be in your hospital. You make me build you.
You're going to build me a house?
No, nice try. No. Can that bag hold a decent amount of that honey from a 55-gallon drum? Honey is great for wounds, by the way.
I have honey sticks in this bag.
Oh.
Because you just never know when you're in the field and need honey sticks.
Yep. He says an AED would actually be a good idea. Oh my gosh, I'm so far behind you guys. I'm so sorry. So
all of these people think that a separate bags would be great. So even if those other two guys were here, you guys would get
Mo wants to know
outloaded.
If you need to add an alien med bag to the list.
No, I mean not at this time.
Oh, this is a great idea.
I'm not going to say never.
Look at Gizmo, a Velcro patch that you can store needles and fish hooks and hair ties.
Oh,
good idea, right?
Yeah,
good idea. What did I miss? Medical bag made from human? Sounds pretty morbid.
Made from human?
Yeah, did I say human? She's got to be making fun of me about something.
I don't know.
I'm just not sure what it is. An Israeli wound dressing? That actually would be a good idea because you get a big wound and something bleeding a lot. Those are really good for that.
I think I have one in the other.
Yeah. Tulip says, save time and stress. Go to Refuge Medical. They have all the components that you need and more. They also have kits. Yep. I don't know them all real good. But I've had other people tell me that. I mean, it sounds like you need to keep an eye out for an ambulance. Indiana, you're not helping.
You did say one time that you would like an ambulance.
Yes. If I could find
that would be kind of cool.
If I could find a 4-wheel drive diesel ambulance, an older one that I could turn into a camper, I would just think it would be fun.
I thought you meant so I could store stuff in it.
No. A bag for a design. 2C says a bag for each breed of animal, along with the grooming tools in it. So you have a cow bag and a poultry bag.
Turkey bag, guinea bag, dog bag.
This is getting expensive. Rickster says aliens taste like chicken. Oh, that's another one. Design says don't forget the wet wipes.
I do have wet wipes.
Wet wipes. Cool. Very good. Very good. Yep. Eagle Lover, thanks for putting my email address out there. Yep. You guys need to get a hold of me. That's my email. Pretty easy. And I'm pretty responsive. So let me see here.
Sometimes.
Just think this all started with a general bag. See, Gypsy, this is my point. And you know what's so funny was I got done speaking and I just walked in. I was walking around the arena seeing people and the idea came to me. And I said, hey, let's collaborate and build this just general purpose homestead bag that I could take. You could take out if you're building fence, you cut yourself, you need a Band-Aid, or you walk out there and the chicken got its butts kicked and half its combs hanging off or whatever. You get just a very general purpose bag, and it's turned into 47 bags.
That's because
now we're treating aliens.
To have a general bag, there so much can go wrong that you would need different items for different species.
Yeah. I was just wanting a general purpose bag.
You can have one.
Yeah, clearly. Mini bags for the truck, outbuildings, big bag for the house. So we have those now. I have lots of small kits and those things. But again, my idea was obviously a poor idea, but My idea was really just a big general purpose bag that could hang in the barn or be thrown into the UTV when we're working or whatever. And it would just be general.
Yeah.
It's not surgery stuff. It's just a general purpose. I get cut. The animals get cut. You know,
I like the idea of having an animal bag. Well, I like the idea of having a human bag too. But when I went to take the prescription out to the turkey, I came inside because that stuff freezes. So I have to keep it inside. So when I bring it in, when I went to go out there to treat the bird, I came in, put my gloves on, put a little bit of ointment on my hand, and then I walked out to get to treat the bird. And I collected the bird and I put him down between my legs, and I went to get the cream or the ointment, and one of the other birds ate it off of my hand. So I was like, now I have to go back to the house to get a little bit more so that I can treat this bird. So it would be nice to have a bag to carry out there to do all of because on that same day, then I had the bloody comb on the chicken. I came out after I opened the chicken door, I came back out the people door, and there was blood on the concrete right there. And it was fresh blood. So I had to go around and look for who's bleeding, and found that it was the comb. You know, it was really cold. So I think it was just the tip of the comb was missing and it was just bleeding. So every time it shook its head, it was just spraying blood. Not spraying, but spackling. So come to the house, and that was actually on the back decks, the Vaseline, which was frozen. So then I grabbed a little bit of that, and then it's frozen, and then the comb is bloody wet. So I'm trying to smear the frozen. It didn't work. So come back to the house, get the calendula cream, I think is what I ended up putting on it. But
Simple Time says pod 5 medical pod. Oh my goodness. Pockety says my jump bags are different colors: red for trauma, blue for breathing, with something that rolled out, and inside of it you had 10 different bags, all a different color, all for something different, and it all rolled up. You know, remember like how the old tools would roll up in the Army? It was like a big Tootsie Roll.
My mom had a thing like that for jewelry. Yeah.
Vicky says now you need a bag for the community building. See, this has gotten completely out of control. Yeah. Pod 5 Trauma Bay. Yeah. No.
I don't mind
this is
that.
all bad. I know you don't, but I have to know. Baby diapers and vet wrap are handy for large animal wounds.
Oh. I need baby diapers.
Yeah, an instigator says Grumpy has that Amish ambulance in the backyard. No, we're in no danger of ever buying Yoda's Amish ambulance.
No, she wants to keep that, doesn't she? She loves that.
I think they're trying to sell it.
Oh.
I have refused medicals, won't care, and it's fabulous. Maybe I've used refuge medicals. I'm not sure. I know he's typing on a phone and that gets hard. But, oh, there we go. Yeah, I have discounts for refuge medical. Yeah, I pretty much buy from Chuck Peoples if I can because I like the guy. But yeah, I do that I try to do that stuff the best that I can. But, all right, where are we at? Tag, did you send my cards yet? Tag, what cards am I sending? I don't know. B's in charge of that department. You gotta give me a little more information because I have no idea what we're talking about. Let me skip down here a little bit. Oh my gosh, look at that. All right, guys. I just skipped all the way down. If I missed you, I'm sorry, but I'm way behind.
You have to type it again.
Yeah, well, I just can't keep up sometimes, you know, and come on, Tag, a medical pod with a trauma bay near the community building would be ideal. Yeah, well, Jules, come build it. That's all I got to do. See how easy that was? Yeah, B going to get Tag broke. B's kept me broke for years. Are you kidding me? I actually get an allowance, right?
Yeah. You know, that just like when our boys were growing up and they would work and we'd charge them, you know, their insurance and their cell phone, and we charged them what we needed to allow them just a little bit of play money.
There's no we.
Yeah, you.
No, you.
Not me.
Yeah, money Nazi.
Not me.
Yeah, keep your kids broke. It keeps them out of trouble is really what she's saying.
Yep.
And so when the boys would work, they would owe us for their insurance for their car
insurance.
And their cell phone, and they would owe us for these things.
They were like, well, how much did you get paid?
Okay, wait, Goatman. So sorry I got you and Grubby mixed up. Okay, cool, because I had no idea what we were talking about. Joel says yeah, I just put a mash tent out by the barns. Oh, cool. Oh, got it. KY won the WRL. I've got a box here.
Oh, we owe those to
Jess and Joe.
Jess and Joe.
Yep.
we probably better give those to them.
Yep. Tag can be a clinger. Wait, money? What tag? What are we talking about? Apparently, I'm completely lost. Yeah, Pete, check out Homestead Medical and Refuge Medical. Yeah, like I said, I don't know Refuge Medical well. I've heard lots of wonderful things about them, and I know they're like-minded and a great place to do business. But if I can do business with Chuck, I'm going to do business with Chuck because that's just the way I am. But let me see here. Oh, Klinger from MASH. Oh my God.
Klinger.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Oh, Tag, did you say money Nazi? Yeah. I get an allowance, right?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, to just blow whatever you want without even, yeah, you get an allowance.
Jules said, I'd like to get birthing and postpartum buckets too. Here's the thing, guys, about this is that we have, because we started on the other side. We have lots of medical things.
Yeah.
The whole purpose of this was just a general purpose leather bag that was durable. You could throw over your shoulder, take out to the work site, right? Because we work all over our property and have everything you needed. And if you run into a cow that got caught in the barbed wire or whatever, and you needed to stitch, you could, or you needed cream,
well,
you
if
could.
It got
or
caught
if
in
you
the barbed wire, you'd need a whole different set of tools. I mean, you need wire cutters and...
Yes, I get that, baby. What I'm talking about is the medical side of it. Once I free them from the fence, okay, I'm out there working already. I would typically have those things with me.
Not if you're just running fence and then you're like, hey, there's a cow caught in the fence.
Yeah, and what about a bag for desserts?
Oh my gosh, come on.
Thank you for changing the subject. Anyway, let's get on to the new topic. What else you got you want to talk about?
You go ahead.
Okay.
What do you guys talk about?
Yeah, so did you guys know that the shipping container costs are up over 200% from the year before? And when I'm talking about shipping container costs, I'm not talking about the cost of the container. I'm talking about the cost to get it shipped from Asia to here. So to get a 40-foot container now shipped from China to the United States is over $4,000 per container just to get it moved over here, which again is up 200%. I think that's significant. I think what that tells us is that we're going to start to begin to see more supply chain issues, right? Because in either A, you get less things, or B, the price continues to go up, because one of the two has to happen, right? Silver lining. Medical Nazi. So it's a great idea, Tag, but you do need to keep them separate. Yeah. So anyway, I thought that was interesting. I thought, let's see what else we got now. Buy here, pay later numbers from the holidays are coming up, and they're up 25% more than last year.
Oh,
buy now, pay later. You know, like how sometimes you can go to like Walmart or some of these things and you can buy whatever you want now and pay for it later. So a lot of the holiday shopping was financed by this method. And so what that means is that 25% more people had to do that this year than what did it the previous year.
And you're not talking about credit. You're not talking about credit cards.
No, I'm talking about the buy now, pay later stuff that a lot of the stores do. You know, like I could go buy a refrigerator today, but pay for it 6 months from now.
Yeah.
And so 25% more people have yet to pay for their Christmas, right? Because they borrowed to it. And I thought that was a pretty interesting number.
Well, I mean, that makes sense because
everything
costs, like everything's up.
Yeah. Silver Lining said, oh, shoot, I waited too long to get a shipping container. Well, I don't know that it's going to affect the cost of the shipping container. It's the cost of shipping, of getting it here. Right. And so they pay for it. And then those shipping containers they sell off. So I don't know.
Well, they will take that cost of the shipping it and add it to the container so that they get some.
No, I think they would add it to the cost of what they're shipping.
The goods
that are inside it. But I mean, I'm not an expert in this, but He's talking about the cost to get the container full of whatever shipped, not the purchase price of the container. Correct. Yep, 100% correct, which I think is awesome. What else? I've seen that Russia is now offering citizenship to anybody, to include their families, if they will come support Mother Russia in the fight against Ukraine. What do you think about that?
That what? They're
Russia,
offering
citizenship
to anyone who wants to come and help fight?
Yeah, help fight with Ukraine. Yeah.
Aren't we doing the same thing? We're allowing anybody to come and join our military, and
there's some,
and then they
some
can be citizens.
I don't know that they're offering citizenship. I have not read that yet, but what I find, what do you find fascinating about that?
I don't think it's fascinating at all.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good answer. I think it's interesting that people looking for a better way of life, like let's say from Africa.
Oh man, I didn't see it that way.
Okay, now what do you think?
Go ahead.
But I think it's fascinating that you probably see some migration into Russia, which Russia's typically been pretty anti that, but that came out today. I was reading that, which I found, pretty interesting. All American says, I just bought 12 Connex containers. Now, that's a lot. I think we have 1, 2, we have 3.
Do you have enough stuff to put in that?
12 is a lot.
That's a lot.
Right? Let me see here. Heck, California is offering jobs as police if you're illegal. Yeah, but I think what's interesting about Russia is they're not offering, and they're not saying, hey, if you're illegal, I'll help you out. They say, come to us from Africa, come to us from Asia, come to us from whatever, and we'll make you, not just you, but we'll make your whole family citizens, and we'll pay you, and you can go fight for Mother Russia, and you'll have a better way of life. Right? And I think it's kind of interesting they would do that too. Is that just smoke and mirrors, or are they really running low on troops? Right? Which one is it? I mean, what would cause them to do that? Or are they just preparing for a much bigger war? Because every numbers that I've seen of they still have 85% of their troops are still there, right? After all of this. So they still have a huge army, bigger than most any country in the world. So why would they need all of this, I don't know. But anyway, I just found that to be super interesting.
Preparing.
Yeah, I did a bunch.
Preparing.
Well, are they preparing, or are they losing more troops than they can replace? Right? And there's obviously a motivation to it. What do you guys think? Why would they do that? I think it's interesting.
I thought that the U.S. was doing the same thing, or for police was it police officers? Maybe that's what it was that I heard. Maybe it was California, because they're offering jobs to illegal to come and work. Isn't that crazy?
Why risk native citizens if you can get expendable immigrants to do it?
Ouch. Ouch.
Intentional global migration. Wait until you learn that the potato in Thief has been resettling the Palestinians here in the U.S. Oh, this is 100% certainty. 100% certainty. Yeah. Russia is by far not short on troops or anything else. Their economy has grown tremendously too. Yeah, that's what, as far as what I've read, I would agree with Jules, assuming that what I've read is true, which you can't assume any of that. So, Russia also has bunkers for their citizens. Not exactly sure what that looks like, but our idiots in charge won't do that for their citizens. Nope. World domination? Nope. Illinois is also accepting illegal immigrants as police officers.
That must have been what I was thinking about then, because, what was the kickback? Wasn't there a kickback for that? I thought it was citizenship.
I don't remember if it was citizenship or not, but they're great at giving kickbacks. I mean, there was a time you could win a brand new Corvette if you took the vaccination. So, right. Hey, off the wall preppers in the house. How are you, my friend? Let me see here. One step closer. Well, didn't using foreigners in the legions work out well for the Romans? That's a great point. No, it didn't work out so well for the Romans. Yeah, and they say that those who don't understand the history are doomed to repeat it.
Itself. That's what I was just thinking.
That's right. Yeah. What do we got here? Let me see here. Oh, they're talking amongst California seeing the police officer job and raising free sex changes and lifelong aftercare for illegals. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you're here, bud. Super glad. Yeah, says hello to everyone in the chat. Well, I think the world is a very interesting place, and I think that, you know, wise man once told me that if it doesn't make sense, it's because you haven't discovered the motive. And you know, you and I talk about this all the time, and a lot of this stuff doesn't make any sense. And
that is so true.
Yeah, so that clearly means I just haven't discovered the motive, right? And what's really going on, you know, kind of behind the scenes. But I think it gives us a great opportunity, you know, as we see all of these things, to continue to strive to be a little better and to be a little freer. And I think if you can ever get to that spot, you know, where you're really pushing that level of freedom, you know, to them upper levels, you can withstand no matter what the issue is. You're going to be able to withstand a whole lot better because you're less dependent on, you know, the things that are out there. But
you take control of your own dependencies, then you're not depending upon others.
How do illegal immigrants pass background checks for police department and acquire firearms? They just sign off on them, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I don't think they do.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so I would say they just probably sign off on and bypass the law, right? I mean, right? Because,
that's the craziest thing, too. That, like you're talking about the times and the law must apply to everybody, or it's not a law. It's not.
Yeah, well, I mean, babe, if you look at any civilization that fell, or you even look at some of the greatest dictators in history, you know, Mao or any of them, you know, they made it a big priority to separate men and women. They made it a big priority to separate families. You know, the law only applied where they applied it, right? It didn't apply to all. But look at all the stuff that's going on in politics. I mean, the stuff they run Trump through, and you guys know I'm not a Trump fan, but compared to what they do to Biden, who's a, you know, they don't run him through any of those things. I mean, if Trump had a son that got, you know, that left cocaine in the White House and was, you know, smoking crack and having hookers, I mean, it would be right. And the laptop and all that, which has never come out, you know, and all that. They don't. The law does not apply equal to everybody, right? I mean, as it says in Animal Farm.
You are.
Right? I know. I'm sorry.
We are all equal.
Yes.
Some of us are more equal than others.
That's right. That's absolutely right. I love doing that to you when I say something new, and I can see this light go on in your head, like,
yeah.
They're trying to find a workaround for the arming of the LAPD illegals. The Second Amendment doesn't apply to non-citizens. It's a very good point, right? If they're not a citizen, they don't have the constitutional rights we do. So they're trying to find out, right? We're all equal, babe, but some of us are more equal than others.
Oh my gosh.
We already have a two-tier justice system. Yes, we do. Yeah, Newsom could end up as the Democrats' nomination. I actually think this is a super interesting point because it really appears to me that the Democrats are turning on Biden. I mean, I watch his gaffes pretty regularly because I think I don't know if I think they're funny or what. The dude's lost, but it seems like they're turning on him a lot. And I would tell you that there is zero chance Biden can beat Trump. But at the same time, I would also tell you there's no way he was the most popular president in the history of the United States. He
was.
So if they broke the rules to win the first time, you guys can't tell me they're not just going to break them doing it again, right? It's not like, okay, we're going to do it one time and then we're going to go back to being honest. I mean, do you guys know any criminals who do that? I don't, you know. Maybe
they, you know, sometimes people change their ways.
Yeah. So you get all the way to the top, you make lots and lots of money, and you have lots and lots of power, and you take a low-paying job in a public office. You go in broke and you come out a billionaire, right? Because of all the games that you get to play. And you're right. Someday they're just going to decide to be honest.
I think that was a Lifetime movie.
Trump's son raised millions for St. Jude and they shut him down. Yep, that's right.
But
Hunter, right. Yeah. So how could a legal citizen be arrested by an illegal? I think this is a great point. One more. I think this is a great point that could certainly be challenged, right? I think this is an absolutely wonderful point.
But I think so. They give them citizenship. Then they're no longer illegal.
If they give them citizenship, right? If they fast track that process, right? But they're trying to pass a bill that would allow citizenship for military service. Since they're 99% military age men, you guess what their plan is. The mummified meat puppet. That's funny right there. Sorry, guys. The mummified meat puppet currently in the White House will not be the Democratic nominee. A mummified meat puppet. That's a T-shirt.
The mummified meat puppet.
Yeah. They don't have the constitutional rights. That would be saying the Constitution, Bill of Rights grant rights rather than enumerating pre-existing rights, if they are pre-existing. Yeah, 81 million votes, laugh out loud. Yeah, there's just no way that happened. And so I have absolutely zero faith that there's going to be an honest election.
Didn't they double check the count?
But babe.
They double check the count.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the fact of the matter is you can say anything you want.
That's what they said.
They double checked to make sure that he was the most popular president in the history of the, I don't buy it. And I don't see why anybody could have any hope whatsoever that this election would be fair. I don't see it. And, we're going to get completely distracted by the mummified meat puppet and, whatever, the orange man or whatever it is. Right. As it goes along, when I'm 100% convinced the outcome's already out there, Well, seriously, but you got to go back and you cannot tell me that the mummified meat puppet, which I love, by the way, that's so funny, received more votes than any other president in history. You just can't tell me that. You just can't. I just don't buy it. There's nothing rational you could tell me that would make me agree with that. So, Homestead Twins is in the house. Good evening to you. You're perfect, right on time. But anyway, I thought that was absolutely interesting. You want to hear some more interesting facts? You're going to talk about something else? So last year, let me see here. Last year, so in 2022, 30% or 3 of every 10 people said that it was not a good time to buy a home. And in 2023, that number's grown to 8 of 10. Right? Because prices are expensive and interest rates, are up. But it's not just that. So the average American family today needs $11,000 more each year to buy the exact same stuff they bought in 2022.
How much?
$11,000.
$11,000 more. Right,
to buy the exact same type of stuff. Also, investors bought 23% of all the homes last year in 2023. And so what's coming in, and I believe this 100%, I think we're going to see some really interesting things when it comes to buying homes coming up, which is, I think we're actually going to see the 100-year mortgage.
What's a 100-year mortgage?
Well, the answer is
it takes 100 years to pay it.
Yeah. They're already doing 60-year mortgages in Canada. Some of that stuff's already going on. And I think instead of the answer of, hey, we're going to make things cheaper or whatever, that's not it. We're just going to drag it out longer. Right. And so you'll start seeing 100-year mortgages, but I'll go a step further. They'll never call it that. What they'll call it is they'll say, hey, introducing this new product. It's the cheapest way to get a house. It's called a lifetime lease. Like whole life insurance, you pay your whole life, right? Kind of thing. And so you can live in this house. The payment's much cheaper. And you will
never own it.
The bank gets it back, but why do you care? You're dead.
You will never own it. You will pay rent.
Yep. Well, that's what I'm saying. So a lifetime lease, really what that means is you're just a renter your whole life.
Yeah. What's the difference? Why buy it?
That's right.
It would be cheaper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Eagle Lover Texas says, come on, Tag, there were illegal votes. That's my point. That's exactly my point, Eagle Lover. There was illegal votes then. There are illegal votes the next time. The Republicrats have got all of us convinced that one side good, other side bad. It's a scam. And yes, there were illegal votes, and there will be more of them. And there were votes that weren't counted, and there were votes that were double counted, and there were dead people voting.
I heard about that.
So.
But I thought that they went back through. Yeah,
RN says, watch the movie Leave the World Behind. I would love to. If you guys know how I can watch it, I'd love to watch it, but I don't have Netflix. And I'm not paying for the service. So, and the way that I understand it, the only way you can get it is by being on Netflix. Trying to sell our home right now. Things be crazy right now. Yes, they are.
Is the Leave the World Behind movie, is that about?
That's the Obama movie.
Oh, okay.
Right. Life Mike and Jen said, B, that wasn't turkey balm you put on your lips, was it?
No.
Yeah, next movie is Civil War. Yeah, and I've seen some stuff on that, but You will own nothing and you will like it. Yep. You will own nothing and you will be happy. This is exactly right. And this is what they were talking about, right? And again, guys, they will never call it a 100-year mortgage. That's not how it'll work. They will say lifetime lease. You could have a nicer house. Well, yeah, you can have a nicer house. Instead of living in $100,000 house because that's all you can afford.
I don't think they'll call it a lease because
they may not. What I'm saying is, remember when they came out with reverse mortgages?
Yes.
Okay, they're going to give it some name. I just called it a lifetime lease. I don't know what they'll call it.
Yeah.
But
they'll make it pretty.
They'll make it pretty, right? They'll make it the Affordable Care Act, right? They'll come out and they'll make it pretty, as you mentioned. But I'm telling you, we're going to see the 100-year mortgage. And they'll call it something else, but it will ensure you never own anything. But you'll be able to live in a nicer house. And guess what? All your followers on TikTok will think you're that much more successful.
And you'll be happy.
Sign me up.
You will own nothing and you will be happy.
Yep, sign me up. I'm going to skip down here a little bit. You see here, one step says, B, there were no audits. That's what all the court cases is about. The judges dodged the issue by saying that the people complaining didn't have standing to bring the case. Yeah, this is what I'm saying, guys. You guys cannot tell me that this is not going to happen again. The question is, which one of the half of the Republicrats out there is going to win their argument of who wins this time? I don't buy it, All American says, I can see a 100-year mortgage because they're already doing a year. Financing on vehicles, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how far it's gotten up to. I haven't bought a vehicle in so long. I don't know, but I know there was 8-year vehicle loans.
You think that's a lot? I've had a car longer than 8 years.
Have you borrowed money for longer than 8 years?
On a car?
No. Because they didn't exist when you were borrowing money.
What are you talking about?
5-year loan for a long time was as long as you could get. And then they went to 72 months, which was a 6-year loan, right?
Now they're
up to 8, right? Let me see here. Tag, I'll text you the website I use to watch TV shows and movies for free. Yeah, I would love to watch it.
Wow.
I just haven't found how to watch it. Yeah, look how many elderly went with the reverse mortgage. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is what I'm saying.
It was really popular with the elderly.
It was really popular because they could pull the equity out of their house, but it meant they don't own nothing. They don't own it, and that also means that upon their death, it goes back to the investors, right? Instead of going on to heirs or, whatever. It used to be a case a long time ago, guys, that what would happen is.
So it was like a loan?
Well, yeah. So they would pay their house off or they would have equity in their home and then they would take a loan on that equity. So the reverse mortgage company would pay them, let's say, $2,000 a month or $3,000 a month. But at the end, that all comes due. Right when they pass. It was a complete scam. But it used to be, guys, in the old days where you had what was called generational wealth. And so what generational wealth is that, I worked really, really hard. I built my farm. I gave it to my kids. They worked really, really hard. They continued to expand, buy more land. They built theirs. Then their kids, and it just continued to move on and move on and move on, right? And that's what I call it. It was generational. But today, we've taught ourselves to only consider ourselves and mine, right? And this is mine. And I would say that most of the population would rather live in a pretty home that they can take Snapchat and Facebook pictures with.
Well,
than they would be in a home they could actually pay for.
It's a standard of living that they need to have.
Yeah. See, Master says we could host a movie night here.
Oh.
I'm in. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm in because I said I don't have it and I refuse to get it. And
we can bring the popcorn.
There you go. Nito said it perfectly. There's no way to have generational wealth if you don't actually own anything.
Yeah.
Because, I think the idea was you put your kids in a better position and they put their kids in a better position and you build empires.
Yeah.
Right? Through that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what they were supposed to have been doing, right? That's what we try to do or trying to do.
Yeah. Michael Connolly says, notice how quiet the Democrats are. Just like Joe didn't campaign. That's what I'm saying, dude. He didn't even campaign. He hid in his basement. And now they're talking about no presidential debates. Did you hear that?
No, I didn't.
They're not even going to debate.
This year? They're not?
Well, I don't know if they're going to debate or not. They're talking about not doing it. Now, what actually happens, who knows, right? Generational mortgage. Avoid extra closing costs by passing your mortgage down to your children.
Is this... You've heard of this, or did you just make that up?
No, but that is smart right there, because that's exactly how they sell it. You could get the first 50 years of the mortgage knocked out before your kids get it.
Oh my gosh. And that is so that they can live in a fancier house, right?
Well, except
live beyond their means.
We say that, except the $150,000 house that was 5 years ago is $350,000 today. So no, they're buying the same house, but they're programmed that that's a $300,000 house, right?
Wow.
And good night, Toby. I'll vote Spags and Grumpy in 2024. They'd have us in a revolution in seconds. Tag, if all else fails, just wait for movies to show up on ScrewTube. Yeah, and that's what I plan on doing. And then eventually I would see it. But if I could see it, I would absolutely watch it. Oh, Mo says, I have seen interest-only mortgages.
Mm.
That is just
So then you
nuts.
just give the house back when you die.
That is just nuts.
Or move.
Yeah, well, the average person only stays in a house 5 years now. This is why I did that video on the illusion of equity, because there's no, if you do that, there is no equity. You'll never find equity. People are like, oh, wait a second, I paid $120,000 for my house, but I sold it for $200,000. I made $80,000. No, you didn't. How do you figure you made $80,000? Yeah. Well, I bought it for $120,000, but I made $200,000. No. So what about the payments you paid along the way? What about the interest you paid on it? What about your taxes you paid on it? You don't count any. You got to count all of that stuff in there. And you know what you'll find out is you lost money.
So maybe it'd be better just to mortgage only it and give it back. Maybe
that's what people want to do. What I think would be better is that you live in and you build your own house like we chose to, right? You find another way to do it. You live in a house beyond your means. You don't take out credit card debt. You don't live on Starbucks. You make the sacrifices that you need to make so that you can actually own something. And
then you will be happy.
Well, you'll only be happy if you don't own anything.
Right. Well, we will be happy.
It will be the polar opposite of what the name says. Affordable Care Act, Patriot Act, right? Right. Exactly what I'm saying, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that's why the Homestead comment was the Farm Ranch Homestead comment was so funny, is you get to pass it on to your kids. Like they'll totally make it the opposite, right? Property tax makes sure you'll never own it. That's right. And I think that property tax, and I was talking to our commissioners, I was telling you guys this on the last live. I was talking to our commissioners that this should be the number one fight we're fighting right now. This should be the number one thing people are concerned about is property tax, because Crunchy Mom is 100% right. The one thing that will prevent you from ever getting truly free is property tax. 100%. Let me see. Rate Genius is reporting car loans up to 10 years. Oh my goodness. Yeah, they're talking about the movie that was all produced and directed by Barack and Michelle Obama. I believe the movie is predictive programming. Yeah, I would love to see it because people talk about it, but I just have not seen it because, again, I refuse to pay for it. You know, Homestead Twins says, with those extended loans for cars 5+ years, I finally heard the term gap insurance. Can you imagine it being so far underwater with your loan that you need extra insurance in case of an accident? Yeah, gap insurance has been around for a long, long time. And, you know, the finance company's been burying people in cars forever. You go into a car lot, you buy a $30,000 car, you come back a year later, it's worth $15,000. But wait a second, you still owe 28. Oh, that's okay. We'll just finance it into the next loan, but you're going to have to take out gap insurance.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, this has been going on for a long, long time. Are your children into homesteading or familiar with it? Yeah. So my boys are grown.
Getting there.
Yeah, they're grown and they're
into homesteading.
Yeah, and they're
getting there.
I don't know that I would say they're into homesteading. I would say they're into prepping a lot, right? They like to go to the range. They like to store, stuff and have the things to be prepared. I haven't got either one of them into owning animals or gardening or any of that stuff yet. So into homesteading, no, but certainly the other way. Just another way to sell your kids. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I will own nothing and be happy. The first thing I will give them is beep. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yep. This is what I was talking about. I heard about 80-year mortgages being proposed in Canada. Yep.
That's a lifetime.
Yep. A reverse mortgage gets more complicated when there is a will leaving the house to someone who now owns the mortgage.
Hi, Joe.
Yeah. This is super important, right? A reverse mortgage gets more complicated when there is a will leaving the house to someone who now owes the mortgage.
Oh, wow.
Man. Oh, my goodness. I'm so far behind you guys. Richard says the movie's a joke. I've never seen it. I don't know. Yeah, gap insurance means you pay too much for the car. Yeah, or, yeah, pretty much, yeah. I believe raising property taxes, how the big they is how they will take from those of us who do own our homes. Yeah, I think it's the number one fight. you know, and I think it's absolutely, we should be fighting as hard as we can fight. And we should be, if you want to get involved in something, this is a great fight to get involved, is the property tax fight. And again, I think it's something we should all be screaming from the rooftops, absolutely screaming from the rooftops every single time. When you get your tax bill, you need to go into your courthouse, to your county commissioners, and protest it 100% of the time. Whether you like it, even if you thought it was fair, go protest it. I mean, this is a big deal. You know, I've argued with my commissioners a million times not to get rid of property tax, because I don't think I can win that, but that anybody that retires or gets a retirement age should no longer have to pay property tax. They've paid for the place. They've paid it off. They've now paid property taxes for 30 years. They've paid their fair share. They should no longer pay property tax, but I have not won yet. So,
and of course that property tax goes up every year too.
Yeah. I'm already paying $4,000 a year in property tax. That's how they're going to steal everyone's property. Yep, I agree. So we can't do anything about property tax right now. So what do you do about it, guys? Right? What's the solution to the property tax question? Well, until we can find a way to deal with it, right? Until we can get it changed, what we have to do is make sure that front we can withstand long term. Right? If I'm not paying a mortgage, I can stand a higher property tax. Right? If I'm not paying car payments, I can stand a higher property tax. If I'm producing a lot of my own food, if I'm producing a lot of my energy, if I'm producing, dealing with my own water, if I'm not tied on 100 fronts, I can fight this front for much, much longer. And so until we can get rid of the property tax, the absolute best thing you can do is eliminate the stroke and get rid of those fronts that they can come in at, so that what you're doing is fighting your battle on the fewest number of fronts. Yeah. And I'm telling you, that is great advice.
Makes sense.
Yep. That's what we need to be doing. So I must have skipped the Mike and Jen question, but Life, Mike and Jen, that's a great idea to volunteer and learn what you need to know at the same time. Yep. Get involved, because we talked last week. I know it's funny because I got a lot of emails about it, and I know I probably offended a few people, and I think I lit a fire under some other people's. But when I asked you, what have you done outside of your own existence to spread freedom in the last 12 months? What have you actually done that's not you related, but outside? And guys, I got a ton of emails and a ton of phone calls and some really good, deep conversations, and some people that I probably made mad, but it's good. Tag, were you the one who colored the 101 Dalmatian picture in your background? No. So we ran a contest, Ghetto, on freesteading for what does freedom mean to you for kids. And what they were going to do is they were going to color pictures, and Bobby Spags and I and Patrick Barn, Patrick Henry.
Was it Patrick?
I think Patrick was involved.
Danny and Wanda.
And Danny and Wanda from Deep South. And each of us would pick winners in this contest.
You say Spags?
Spags was involved. And they would pick winners. And these two little girls drew me those pictures, and I love them.
Liberty and Freedom.
Yep. And their names were Liberty and Freedom. And so these are the two.
Move your head over. Yeah. See, there's two pictures.
There's two pictures actually back there. But so anyway, those were the winners that I picked. And so I've hung them in my window.
We're not done decorating up here.
We actually don't do much decorating. Most all the walls are bare, and yeah.
It's kind of hard to decorate when we're still in construction.
Well, let me see. Ghetto says, pay your taxes in coins. They can't refuse them. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I've missed so many. Hey, look at that. Leather Homestead's in the house. We were talking about you, but B, show your bag.
It's getting heavier.
Yeah. We were talking about your bag. Hey, so Leather Homestead's in the house, guys. For those of you guys who like those leather products, the aprons that we showed before, or whatever it is, that's the guy to talk to right there. Yeah. Yeah, super cool. So anyway, we were talking about Leather Homestead is what we should put in it, what we shouldn't put in it, what it should need. We had a great conversation.
It's full. I don't know if I can fit much more in it.
Yeah, Nito says exactly, Tag. That's why Bill and I are doing what we are doing, 100%. And I'm not going to give details, Nitos, when I say this, because I don't know what you're okay sharing. But the Nitos clan is working really, really hard, becoming energy independent. And they're working, and they're very shortly they're going to be, and which we will huge congratulations, right? Because that's a hard one to deal with. But so they're making their ground that way. Miley Mason says late, but you're here.
Welcome.
Yeah. Brett says get involved in your local government. Well, I would agree with that 90% of the time. But I would also tell you that don't get involved in your local government in a manner that feeds the beast. You have to get involved in a manner that starves the beast. If what you're going to do is get involved in a manner that helps grow government bigger, that helps create more regulations, then you're doing more harm than you're doing good.
Yeah.
Right. And so we have to have discernment to know the difference. So when you get involved in your local government, make sure what you're doing is you're doing it, the right way. Brett says fight back. Yeah, Mo says you can reduce property tax by building around their rules to minimize it. Smaller buildings, temporary structures, 100%. 100%. Ghetto says, nice. I knew there was a story off topic. No, it's fine. Yeah, Leather says, glad you make it. Oh, Bruce Bud, there ain't nothing you've made that we haven't liked. Her apron, I sniff it because, man, that leather just smells so good.
I have it sitting in the laundry room and then the whole laundry room and the pantry next to it smells delightful.
Yeah, it's just super, super cool.
Where do you get your cow skins? Where do you get your hides?
Yeah.
Because I wanted to do that.
Hey, Starla's in the house. Good evening to you. Let me see here. LJC says glitter phase B. It is no longer to be referred to as construction.
Correct.
You are still in the glitter phase.
Glitter.
Oh my gosh. And you know what's crazy? When we get all these people together, it is a mess. This is what I get. It's a glitter fest. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hey, the beautiful MJ from Wisconsin is in the house.
Hello, friend.
Yep. Let me see here. Everyone, I just put my 10% Refuge Medical discount, a link in freesteading on the clinic.
Oh, thanks.
Rickster, feel free to post it here.
That's nice.
You can post it right here on this chat as well if you'd like. Ghetto says, you guys are going to make me go sniff cowgirl. Guys, there's just something about that leather. It just smells so good. Hey, Squatchy, good night, bud. Let me see, about 8 bottles of sea syrup today, stocking up. Corn syrup, maybe? I don't know what sea syrup is. Do you know what sea syrup is?
No, maybe
Corn syrup?
cool.
But I don't
Cough
want
syrup?
to, but if you don't, you get what they give you or spend time to show up. 100, Brett Boyd, I agree 100%. And you know what? I meet with my commissioners and I'm involved, but I want to make sure that I stress to you guys, don't play a role in the local government that hurts freedom and liberty.
Yeah.
You got to know the difference, right? And this is close to my heart right now because I'm being asked to help, but I'm not going to help in a way that doesn't starve the beast. Paid the home, property off, planted fruit trees, berry bushes, have 50 chickens currently, made a large garden, learned to can it all too. Yep. Guys, that's what I'm saying. Cut down the fronts.
That's fantastic. Congratulations.
Yep.
Do you have videos?
Oh, she said sea syrup. Maybe it's cough
syrup. I said cough syrup.
Oh, did you? Okay.
I said COVID syrup, cough syrup.
Yeah. Okay. If we have prayer warriors in here, can I ask for a prayer for my mom? She is 63, has stage 4 bone cancer. The doctor says maybe 6 months left. I'm so sorry, bud, to hear that. And hey, all you prayer warriors out there, get to work. Yep.
And for American Preppers Mom too, if you guys can.
Yep. Oh, there's a lot of them out there, and there's a lot of stuff, going on. We're going to talk about that a little bit at the end here in just a couple minutes. But yeah, WA, let's make sure everyone sends those prayers and I know you'll get a ton of them. Yeah, WA says, hence for my trip to Idaho. I knew there was something there, but if you don't share, I'm not going to, I'm not going to share that information publicly,
Yeah.
So that's something you have to do, but I'm very sorry for that, and just keep hanging in there. And I know it's hard. I lost my dad 2 years ago, and guys, there's not a day that goes by I don't think about him. Not a single day.
No, you don't get over it.
No, you just don't. And, you think about all the what ifs and you think about, oh, I should have, and you think about all of these things. But for me, pretty quick, I get out of that and I start thinking about all the wonderful things I learned from him and the silly things that he did. My dad was a mess. He was an absolute warrior. I mean, 2 Vietnam veteran, super declarated, ran a successful company when he got back, all those things. But I mean, he would, try to build something and come out with, cock in his ear and, epoxy all over his shirt. And, I mean, he was just a mess. And
pink Crocs.
Yeah, wore pink Crocs everywhere. And this is one of the toughest men I've ever met and wore pink Crocs. But So I would encourage you guys to go through that, to remember all of the great things and don't spend a lot of time in the woe, spend all of that time in the wow. And
wow.
if you do that, it will help you get through it a whole lot better. I try to focus my time on the wow. And, the guy had a work ethic, I haven't called in sick to a day of work in 20 years, and that's because that's how I don't know any other way, and that's how he was. And so again, I encourage you guys to spend all your time in the wow. I didn't know we were going to get to that, but spend it in the wow. Yeah, there you go. Father, please give W.A. and her mama peace. Wrap them in your hands and remind them everything is done through your will. Amen. I'm sorry your mom's going through this. Yeah. Look at all those. I love you guys. You guys are awesome, and we're in this together. And someday, I've said this on my live a million times, and I've said it in text message to people a million times. Someday together might be all we got.
Yeah.
And, you guys just keep doing it. Keep being together, Brett says, I'm in my new house. There's something to be said to live in a paid for house. Amen. Isn't it? I remember we paid this place off, and I remember that moment, and I don't even remember what it's like to pay a mortgage.
I know
or electric bill or something, I just go ahead.
I had to call the insurance. I had to call and ask an insurance question, and our agent said, I said, why do I have all this mail? I have this one and I have this one and I have this one and I have this one. And he goes, well, it's kind of like, well, if you had a mortgage, you get a statement that tells you where all the money's going. This is what we just sent you. And I'm like, well, if you had a mortgage, then you would know why you're getting all these papers. And I'm like, I don't want all this paper. Don't send me all this paper. I don't need all of this. I don't need 5 envelopes to tell me that you're renewing my policies.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, they all have different account numbers. What's going on here?
Yep.
He's like, this is how we do it. I'm like,
we talk all the time about new level, new devil, and it's so true. And I get reminded of it all the time, just like that. We're talking about, we don't have a mortgage, we don't have an electric payment, we don't have this, but it brings on a whole different set of issues. Right? You reach a new level, you level up, and you're presented with a new devil that you have to learn, to work around and to deal with.
It's like Mario Brothers.
It kind of is.
Then at the end, you have to fight the dragon.
Right. Maybe Mario Brothers was predictive programming.
Probably. It's all, there's so many links to.
Yeah, Life Magnet said, that's fantastic, Tag. Yeah, thanks for the reminder. Yeah, and I have to remind myself of it. Hey, I want to share a story with you guys because we're kind of coming to the end, but I think this is really interesting. I had a good friend of mine who was over here. They have bought a homestead out here, and they were here recently, and I was talking to them, and they were frustrated, by the things that were happening around them and to them, and just the challenges of doing all of this stuff, and they had said to me about, you don't seem to ever have a problem with it. And, is it just them? Are they weird because, it's not happening as quick for them as they'd like it to happen for them, or they don't have the resources or whatever it is. And they get all stressed into it. And I had to tell them that I have my hammer throwing moments too. It's just, I don't vocalize them and I don't share them. Right. But I have my moments that I'm flawed, and I have my moments that I don't do things right, and I have my moments that I get mad and I'm not, positive, right?
Yes.
We all do. I have my moments of doubt. I have my moments where I say to myself, did I do the right thing by taking all of the money I had in the entire world and all of it and investing it in a self-sufficient life where I have to work harder than I ever have and, spend all of my money to live like I live in the 1800s?
It's like, well, I guess.
Yeah. Right? So the point is that we all go through these things, right? Every one of us have to deal with these issues, and the very system that we're raised in and that we grow up in is conditioning you to believe all mine says bunny.
All mine says bunny.
Right? And this was a book we used to read to the kids when they were little, but it's all about your own personal image. And it's all about how many followers you have, or it's all about, all of these self-absorbed things, and it makes it really, really hard sometimes to see the beauty out behind it, right?
The mindset.
Yeah, getting into that mindset. And so, like I would try to explain to them that, guys, I'm flawed too, and I have my moments, and I have my moments of doubt, and I have my moments of throwing my hammer because I get pissed or whatever it is. But I promise you, just like when I was talking about my dad dying, I don't spend very much time there. I get back to the wow. I get back to, dude, I own it. And the guy said up here, I want to see if I get back to it. Such a great statement. Oh, right here. Brett Boyd said, earlier up in this chat, and he said, I sleep so much sounder, because you get to accomplish and you get to level up and you get to do these kinds of things. There's a thing that I think that happens to us as humans, and I call them pressure reactions. You know what I mean? What I mean by that is you got these pressures of, I got to pay this off, or I've got this debt, and then, or whatever it is, and you get these pressures inside of you, and then what that causes you to do is attack the people you love. And it causes you maybe not to be as nice as you would typically be, or it causes you to react in a particular way. And they're like, wait, what did I do? And it was something so little, but we did it because of all the pressures around us. And let's just get out of that. Let's stop doing those kinds of things and focus on what the mission is. And I think it'd be better for everybody. Let me see. All American Purposes. I live in a 10 by 12 bunker, but it's paid for. Amen. Right. Amen. I love all these prayers. Look at all that. You guys rock so much. Ghetto says, dude, tag, we need to create a homesteading video game. Oh my God. Yeah. I want to create Bee's character, because everywhere she walked, she'd be farting unicorn dust and pixies would be coming out of her hair. Skipping. Yeah, skipping. I want to do that. I worked 72 hours weeks, most of 2020 while it was available to help pay off the home. So worth it. Yeah, and you got to be willing to do it. And you could spend a lot of time, Nito, saying, why do I have to work 72 hours? Yeah. And comparing yourself to somebody else or whatever it is, and allowing jealousy and greed and all of these things, to come into our hearts, when the fact of the matter is we should be celebrating everybody else's success. Yeah. Right. We should be going out of our way to help people reach those levels of success. Guys, at the end of the day, and I want you to know this, 100% of my being is that you and I are not in competition. I want you to win too. And if you can go into every day with that attitude of, hey, we're not in competition. I'm not competing with Gypsy, who has a homestead down the road, or Matt, or any of my buddies. I'm not competing with any of them. I want them to win too. Yeah. And if we can win together. And I think that's just the absolute best place to be. Oh my goodness. Sorry, guys. I'm so behind. Amen, Tag. Dan and I are always saying we work so much harder now than we ever did in the corporate world, but we're so much freer. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Food for thought. People keep buying bigger houses and then fill them up with totally unnecessary stuff. And when it gets full, they buy a bigger house instead of getting rid of all the unnecessary stuff. 100%. Yeah. Totally agree. Totally agree. Jules says, that's what I do. I don't spend any time worrying about all those I've lost. I focus on the good memories. Yeah. And I think you have to focus on the wow, right? My dad wiped my ass growing up. Now it's my time to make sure he's never dirty. Oh my goodness. What a great way to say that. That is really a great way to say that. That is a great, great, great way to say that. And, Brett, good for you for being selfless. Right? Congratulations. Yeah. Yeah. Amen. The rising tide. Oh, I don't know. It was Rickster's birthday. Rickster, is today your birthday? Did I miss something up here? Oh. You guys want to sing Rick happy birthday? It'll be 63 on the 11th. Yeah, let's sing him happy birthday. Ready? Hey, Rick. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you, Rick. Happy birthday to you. You know what's funny about that? That song always makes you smile.
You said Rick. I was going to say Rickster.
Well, you can say Rickster and I can say Rick. Yeah. Tag, your character would be tromping around in boots with a cloud of construction litter. Mm-hmm. Yeah, B always calls me the wood chipper.
Throwing hammers.
Yeah, I don't throw a lot of hammers.
I've never seen you
get mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do though. There's been times where I couldn't get something done or whatever, and I just use the example of throwing a hammer. More often it's a screwdriver or a pair of.
I'm more likely to throw the hammer than you.
You are more likely to throw the hammer than me, but I just want everybody that I said to everybody, guys, I'm not
perfect.
I'm not perfect. I go through the same thing everybody else does. It's just how I go about dealing with it. Usually I'm quiet.
He deals with it very well.
Yeah. Well, I walk away too. And you can ask me if I'm upset at something, I'll just disappear.
Where'd he go?
Because I have to go get myself out of the now and back to the wow. And sometimes I got to go talk to myself, and I got to, I got to go check myself, and get myself back, because it's counterproductive. If I've had a bad day and I come in the house, I don't know if I ever told you guys this story, but out front of my house, there's 2 pillars. And I always try to remember to put my hand on that right pillar when I'm walking in the door, and it signifies to me to leave my day away, that it doesn't belong here, that this is my sanctuary, this is my home, this is where my wife resides, this is where my peace is and
your
my freedom is.
wow.
Yeah, it's my wow is here, and I can't let that get into that front door, because if I let it get in that front door, then what happens? Then we use that same thing I was talking about, that pressure reaction.
Yeah.
And then because I've had a bad day, or because I got all this pressure on me, then I'm taking it out on you.
Yeah.
And then you become defensive.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I'm going to take it back out on you.
Right. And then off
and
we
then
go.
we're fighting. And then the hammer's getting thrown.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
No, we don't fight like that.
Yeah. Tag's character would get energy from eating desserts. Well, I think that part of the game should be desserts in it, and they give you extra energy.
You have to go around and find them, buddy. They don't just come to you.
The best thing is I made the move, still got my 2 dogs and cat, and sometimes my wife and my daughter. Yeah. Yeah. I call that prepper fatigue. Sometimes you just need to sit back and take a break. Yes, I just walk away, until I can feel better about it and get back to it. Tag's character, cross between Pigpen from Peanuts and Bob the Builder.
Yes.
Oh, my Tag, that's me. I get quiet and just disappear to change my mood. That's how I deal with it. Because yelling or taking it out on somebody's super unfair, and I'm smart enough to know that.
And you are so good at that.
I know. And you are not as good at it as I am.
No.
No. Anyway, it's 2 hours. What do you got for parting words? What do you want to talk about? Get out of here.
Well, so last week we talked about what did we talk about? Oh, going dark and getting prepared, being self-sufficient, and you called it a training. What'd you call it? Like a training exercise. And I was like, well, yeah, I guess that makes sense. A training exercise, because we go out and we charge the batteries and charge the summit and haul the wood and haul the food, haul our food, haul their food. Everybody gets food, trying to get ourselves to where we think we should be so that we could weather these storms. But then it branches so much farther than that, because the prepping and the supplies are part of it, but then also the mindset, the being good to people, the expressing their wows, their
celebrating their wows.
Or I'm sorry, that's what I probably meant. The celebrating their wows with them and congratulating them and being a part of them and not losing sight of that. I think, helps us to live the life that we feel we were led to lead. And I think we need to continue to do that, and to strive to do that. In this house, I am the first person to be the down in the dumps, I think that, I had something I was going to say and I forgot what it was.
It's okay. I think what you're saying, babe, is at the end of the day, we get to choose how we react to anything. Right? I mean, we get to decide whether or not we're taking ourselves seriously or not, And I think for me, the problem is we've been so programmed to be so concerned about things that don't matter. And we've lost our sense of what matters. They give an example, they say that the only person that's going to remember you worked late 20 years from now is your kids. Right? It's not that employer who's employing you. It's not, any of those things. And we have to check ourselves every day and get our mind back in the right. back in that way and be pro community, be willing to help and be willing to take one for the team and be willing to do those kinds of things. Because if you don't do those things, then all you are is a slave to the system, and all you are is following, the way that they want us to. They want us to be divided, right? They want us to be back in China with Mao, where boys and girls look exactly the same.
Well, if we rely on them, then we need them, and then if we need them, then we're just standing there waiting for our rations.
Yeah. Oh, look who's in the house! Look at that. And my buddy Eric from Porterhouse and Teal's in the house. Super great channel, you guys.
Hi, guys.
Super smart guy. I've had lots of chance to, hang out with him over time, and really good dude. You guys should go check it out. And I think what Leather Homestead says right here really matters too. Everyone has stuff no matter what. We all have stuff. Well, and the other thing is guys, I don't know if you guys know this, but I got a secret to tell you. You're flawed. Right?
Yeah.
I'm flawed. We're all flawed.
Well, it's super easy to find fault in others.
It is. And it's so quick. You can go there so quick, because again, I think it's that pressure, from the world that's around us. Groceries are more expensive. And we talked about tonight how the average family needs $11,000 more just to pay the exact same amount of money that they needed last year. And we get all of these pressures. And then what happens, and I can speak from a man's perspective, then what happens is I'm feeling this pressure. I'm feeling like I'm falling behind. I'm feeling like I'm not doing my job. And I walk in the door and, then B would say to me, hey, we're about out of butter. And I lose my shit. It had nothing to do with the butter.
Yeah. What are you even doing all day?
It just, it's a downward spiral. So I think to close out, my parting advice I would give to you guys is stop taking yourself so seriously. You know what I mean? Let go of the outside world. Find a pole outside your house that you're going to touch every single day, and don't bring it home with you. Try to keep what matters, and what matters isn't all that other stuff.
Stay focused.
Stay focused on, that's a good one. Stay focused on what we're doing. And, there's a big fight coming in front of us. And
ooh, we got a big one coming.
We got a big one. And I think that whoever your creator is, whatever you pray to, whatever that is, there's a reason we're all here. Let's not squander that reason. Let's take these training opportunities as an opportunity to get better and an opportunity to deal with them now, why they don't matter.
Training exercises. Thank you for circling back, buddy.
I'm good at that.
Thank you.
I came all the way around just for you. Right?
I love you.
I love you too. So what else you got to say?
Hold the line.
Yep. What else?
Don't give an itch.
What else?
Be out.
See you guys. Good night, everybody.